What's up, guys? If you like my channel and you want to help me grow, go ahead and push that subscribe button below. If you want to get future notifications for my videos, go ahead and push the little bell. A little picture of it right there. And if you want to see my algorithm get boosted to help me along, further my adventure on YouTube, please push the like button. It definitely helps. And if all else fails, push the like button because this guinea pig is cute. That's a good reason to push it, right? Right. Alrighty guys, what's going on? So as you can see, I have a fairly small model here. I'm going to blow this up. I have a 3DR Solo right here, if you guys can see that. We're going to make it nice and small, and I'm going to try to explain how to understand range with the 3DR Solo, because there seems to be a lot of confused people that are like, oh my gosh, I bought the alpha antennas, and I'm not getting any extra range, and this is really stupid, and I don't understand what the problem is. So today we're going to go ahead and understand how range works, okay, with the 3DR Solo being a Wi-Fi operated unit. First of all, the first thing we're going to talk about is if you did happen to purchase the ALFA antennas, they are directional. And the first mistake everyone makes is putting them on incorrectly. I will show you a picture here of the proper way to have your antennas if you would like to use them with the 3DR Solo correctly and get the maximized amount of range out of them. Next, I'm going to talk about how to understand what your Solo needs to do to get the best range possible while using your transmitter. So, being the fact that the ALFA alpha antennas are directional, it means that when the bird is going away from you, you constantly will need to keep the transmitter pointed in the direction that the bird is traveling if you want it to maintain a good signal. So, if the drone is directly above your head at 200 feet and your alpha antennas are still pointed out and away from you, it may just disconnect while you're standing underneath it, okay, because they're directional antennas. So, for all of you that continue having these simple to solve problems, make sure that when you take off with your Solo that you move it away from yourself a bit before you set the transmitter down at an angle that the Solo can receive at. So make sure that when you first take off, you push the Solo out away from yourself a little bit. If you're flying directly above your head, you're probably going to lose connection with the Solo. Okay? So, I have a tiny little Solo here in the corner, and today I'm going to talk about the biggest mistakes that people make and how to avoid it. Then I'm going to show you a video at the end of this of exactly what I'm talking about so that you can see for yourself what your mistakes are. So I'm going to explain it easiest way possible using my finger. I'm going to drag the Solo around here so you can understand. So the mistake that I see people make and complain about not getting much range is they like an area like this. There's a bunch of trees around them and they don't fly the Solo very high. So what happens is they take off, they go up to about 60 feet, and then they start to push their Solo out and they get over the tops of these trees, and then they disappear the Solo off into nothingness at 50, 60 feet above the trees, and they keep pushing, and then they go, well, I don't get it. Why is it returning to home? I'll tell you why it's returning to home, because you tried to cast a signal through these trees to your Solo using directional antennas. Yes, you're not going to get very much range because you're trying to cast a signal now through all of these obstacles and all of this craziness that you've put in the way of the Solo. If you want good reception with the Solo, you take it up in the air nice and high, and you continue to travel at a high altitude away from yourself. That way the transmitter can have a nice, stable, steady lock with the bird. As soon as the bird gets out of range of the transmitter and obstacles start getting in between you and the transmitter, you're going to lose connection. I've had my Solo out pretty far. For anybody that follows my channel, trust me when I say I've had my Solo out very far on ALFA alpha antennas. You just have to understand how to use them properly. So when you want to fly the Solo, the best thing I can tell any of you guys to do is that the Solo functions the best when it's high in the air. It will always have a strong signal lock with the transmitter if you're 200 feet or higher. It loves to be high in the air. It is the cat's meow for the Solo to keep a good, consistent signal lock as long as there's no obstacles in the way to impede that signal. Another big thing that I see is that people like to fly in their residential neighborhoods. Guys, it's a Wi-Fi operated drone. If you're flying around a bunch of houses in a residential neighborhood, there is just massive amounts of Wi-Fi interference taking place. So, if you want to know how to fly far in a residential neighborhood, all you have to do is take your solo up high. Get your solo up really high in the air, 200 feet or more, and then send it out in a residential neighborhood. I would say even I fly at like 300 feet, 400 feet, if possible in your area. The higher the solo is, the less Wi-Fi interference is going to drag down and cause interference with the solo. Get it up in the air and get it away from the interference, and you'll have a much longer flight and much better signal lock with the solo. So, stick around. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Your best friend with the 3DR Solo is height, altitude. AGL, above ground level, is your best friend when using ALFA, directional antennas, FPVLR, any of those antennas. The Solo loves to be high in the air. It is when you get the best signal lock, and you can go for miles, and I mean miles. It loves the countryside with no Wi-Fi interference, and being 250, 300 feet high, you can send the Solo out in the country for miles away from the transmitter. No joke. So, stick around. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. This is going to be our point of attack. We're going to do a range test on both of them. That's going to be our point of attack right out there. We're aiming for those trees way, way, way back there over the top of the hill. We're going to get underneath these power lines, and then we're just going to take them up and go. You ready? Hello? You ready?
I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. This will be fun. Let's see who gets better range. Alrighty guys, so this video was actually taken quite some time ago, but just an idea of what happens when you don't have obstacles in your way and you're nice and high in the air, as well as no Wi-Fi interference. This should definitely give you an idea of how far the Solo can go. The leash for the Solo, in all honesty, is not actually the range. The leash for the Solo is battery. I was traveling around 21 miles per hour trying to keep my friend's DJI Phantom 3 in frame the whole time, and you'll see that he continues to lose reception. This is roughly around 220 feet high, 210 feet high. As I got closer to the trees, we definitely got pretty far out there, so I decided to take it up to 250 feet. You'll see that I start bringing it up about now. Here we go. We're coming up to 250 feet high now, and I'm still going, man. I'm pushing forward. Let's just say this is pretty far out at this point. There's 5,280 feet in a mile. I think you can pretty much guess we're definitely out there pretty far. So anyways, this is what he keeps losing reception, as you can see, and then he finally just drops completely off, and I can keep going, but if you'll notice right here, I stop because my range cap is the battery as of this point. So, well guys, I hope that helped you understand how to get the best possible signal out of your 3DR Solo using the alpha antennas. It's actually quite easy to get your Solo to go pretty far out. But, I made this because I kept getting people, they would watch my videos and they go, man, how do you get out so far? And the reality of it is, you really don't have to do much to your Solo. Just put your antennas on correctly and understand how to use directional antennas a little bit better, and you can actually get some pretty extreme flights out of your Solo. So if you take my advice, I'm fairly certain you will see a much better increase in range from your Solo. Anyways, guys, drone worship, and I'm out. Toodaloo.